A group of terrorists broke into an Air Force base. They opened fire and killed the soldiers guarding the fighter jets. They had disguised themselves as paint delivery workers. They drove a truck to the front gate of the airbase. As a soldier was inspecting the cargo, a gun barrel suddenly appeared from behind the paint buckets. They shot the guard on the outside. Then the terrorists quickly climbed back into the truck. They stepped on the gas and crashed straight into the airbase. They fired wildly at the soldiers along the way. Soon after, one terrorist climbed onto a fighter jet. The others quickly set up a defense line using pickup trucks. At the same time, special forces were rushing to the base. The jet had already been fully refueled. Ground crew quickly removed the barriers. It was just about to move toward the runway. Suddenly, a pilot drove over in a car. One of the terrorists picked up a rocket launcher and fired at the pilot. Then they quickly started the jet's engine. Meanwhile, the pilot reached the hangar. He was ready to fly a jet and stop them, but he was suddenly attacked. He had no choice but to hide behind an ammo box. Luckily, the special forces arrived just in time. They rescued the two pilots and started a gunfight with the terrorists. By then, the stolen jet had started speeding up. To stop it from taking off, a special forces soldier drove an armored vehicle forward. They instantly blew up the terrorists' pickup truck. Then they chased the jet onto the runway and fired at it with machine guns. But the terrorist still managed to take off. To stop him, another pilot quickly took off in a second fighter jet. Because his jet was faster, he caught up quickly and got behind the enemy. Once he locked onto the target, he pressed the missile launch button, but the system showed an error. He had to switch to the aircraft's machine gun. He was just about to hit the target when the enemy suddenly turned and flew behind him. The commander in the control room saw the danger and immediately ordered the launch of anti-air missiles. At that moment, the enemy fighter had locked onto its target and fired 2 missiles. The pilot quickly released flares. One of the missiles exploded. To escape the second missile, the pilot flew straight down. It looked like the missile would hit him, but at the last second, he pulled the jet up at a 90-degree angle and successfully triggered the missile to explode.